winter harvests, a tour of our garden, some things for you to do. All this and a lot more coming up in today's episode. So let's begin with all the harvests we made this month. Beginning with ash gourd. These were the final ash gourds we were harvesting. The season has ended now. It's pretty late in the winter season. Ash gourds or winter melons are actually summer crops, but towards the end of the winter you can harvest a few ash gourds, which is what we're doing here. You can see beautiful looking ash gourd here. And ash gourds or winter melons are one of our favorite vegetables to grow. They're very delicious and very nutritious. You can look at our harvest here. Cashew mandarins. So you might know that we had our cashew mandarin tree and it produced a lot of cashew mandarins. You can look at our harvest here. Spinach. We were growing spinach in this earth box. Now you might have seen us growing and harvesting spinach from this earth box for quite some time now. And you can see that the leaves have grown quite well, and we did have a few warm days in the winter season. So you can see that some of the spinach has bolted. You can look at our harvest here, the beautiful looking spinach. And there are two ways to harvest spinach. One way is to use the cut and come again method, which we are doing here. And if you think that your spinach plants have yielded all their leaves, you can also pull them out completely and then start a new crop. So whichever way you harvest spinach, you can't go wrong. This is an amazing vegetable to grow in your home garden, an amazing green. And you can look at one more harvest here, beautiful looking spinach. Tomatoes. It was again the end of season for tomatoes, and I wasn't really expecting a lot of tomatoes this late in the season. Although you can see that the foliage has dried up quite a lot, the plant is still yielding tomatoes. The last few tomatoes that we're harvesting, and you can even harvest the ones that are not completely red, and they will ripen indoors. So you can look at these tomatoes. We ripened them indoors and they look amazing. And we were back in just a few days to harvest more tomatoes. And this was our last harvest, final harvest for the season. We will be cutting down these plants, preparing the bed for the upcoming growing season. But all in all, I was very happy with the way these tomatoes produced. This was a ladder trellis method of growing tomatoes. And I think I would do it again. This is a great way of growing tomatoes. Maybe I'll split them into half growing on a ladder trellis and half growing on a single stem. And you can look at our harvest here, beautiful looking tomatoes. Now a quick update on our Mars Hydro grow tent, which we reviewed last month. We did start some seedlings here. You can see that we sowed some seeds. Some seeds were viable, some seeds were not. But you can look at the grow light here. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how this is performing. So we sowed some tomatoes and some chili pepper seeds, and we waited for a few days. And overall, I think the grow light and the grow tent did an amazing job. The grow tent kept the seedlings quite warm, so I didn't have to use a heat mat. And the seedlings have emerged. The grow light was pretty good. It was quite intense, so I didn't have to raise the seedlings all the way to the top. The fan also did a great job in circulating the air, keeping the area quite clean. And you can see that we have added this plywood just to hold the tray. So one of the things you need to remember is if you're using a grow tent, make sure that you have some kind of a shelf or use this kind of a stable plywood that you see here to keep your seedlings. I think I may be able to optimize this even further. But you can see overall the seedling has grown pretty well from all directions. The light has been quite uniform and very effective. And now let's take a tour of our garden. Starting with the raised beds. You can see that in the first raised bed we are growing a lot of brassicas, cauliflowers, mostly cauliflowers, different varieties of cauliflower, different colors. You can see our eggplant as well that's overwintered now. And some more cauliflowers here on this bed. The chili plants also have been overwintered. These are the cayenne peppers. and they're looking good. This whole bed is looking pretty good so far. And moving on to the next raised bed, we still have these Thai green eggplants, some potatoes and some spinach, and this lone chili plant. However, the bed is pretty much empty. We are preparing this bed for the next growing season. In the next bed, we just removed all the tomatoes that you saw that we harvested. And this is the dwarf copperleaf spinach. So overall, this bed is also empty. This is being prepared for the next growing season. Moving on to the next raised bed, we have a lot of cabbages here. The cabbages are forming good sized heads, as you can see. Cabbage is again a cool season crop. We have some radishes, some cauliflowers on the back as well. And if you look at the radishes, they look amazing. These are the white radishes, the alpine white radishes. We planted some beets here and some onions on the side. And in the final raised bed, we have some taro plants, followed by some more cauliflower plants, some beets, and some more cauliflower plants, as you can see here. So yeah, a lot of cauliflower, a lot of greens. And the ivy gourd plant on the back is done for this season. We will be trimming it soon. And that completes the tour of our raised bed garden. Let's move on to the containers. In the first container, we have our longevity spinach, followed by our hyacinth bean plants. You can see that at the end of the season, it's pretty dry. We have our hummingbird tree plant that's growing okay. It's not looking great for the winters, but it will recover back. We have peas. These are the shelling type peas. You can see beautiful looking peas. They're ready for harvest now. Once again, a cool season crop. We have some spinach. And this is actually a flowering plant. I will give you more details on what this plant is in a future episode. And in the next container, we have some radishes growing and this basil plant, which is not looking that great. We have some spinach here in this container. And these are our overwintered thorned eggplants as well as the green eggplants. This container has nothing. The beetle leaf vines have grown into this. And this is our white turmeric. It looks pretty good, ready for harvest now. This is the stage you should harvest your turmeric. We have some more radish plants. There's very less sunlight here, so you can see the plants haven't grown that well. And this is our yellow turmeric. Very much ready for harvest. We will be harvesting them this month. And our ivy gourd plant is pretty much done for this season. As you can see here, pretty dry. Our mint plant is doing okay. And this taro plant got a lot of wind damage due to the Santa Ana winds recently. This is our boba plant or the tapioca plant. Not looking great during the winters, but it will recover back. These are some lettuce that we planted. And on the other side, we have some cilantro. Lots of good looking cilantro here. Followed by our Indian gooseberry tree. Our jumbo orange tree that has grown quite big. We have some cauliflower plants. You can see the rodents have eaten on the leaves here. And some carrots on the side. We have some eggplants here. These are overdue for harvest. We'll be saving them for seeds. We have a neem tree here. You can see some new growth on this neem tree. Looking pretty good. And this is a flowering plant that didn't survive. And these are our broccoli plants. You can see they are bolting now. It's a little late to harvest. And then finally we have our curry leaf tree, which is growing okay. Let's take a look at the containers on the other side. First, we have cilantro, lots of cilantro. And our 4-in-1 apple tree. You can see the Santa Ana winds, they're still blowing. We have our firecracker plant. Followed by our roselle plant, which is done for the season. Our tree chili is looking okay, not that great. And this is the December flower plant, the blue one. And it was growing really good in the summer season. Our Thai chili plant is completely dead. This is the yellow firecracker plant. Our patio baby eggplant, that's looking okay despite the cold. Our black cobra chilies may just have a chance to recover, we'll see. And finally, our holy basil plant, which is looking okay. A quick look at our green stalk garden. We have beets growing here, we have onions growing here, and some cauliflower as well. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how they're growing. And in the next green stalk planter, this is the classic planter, we have a lot of strawberries growing. We did grow some chilies and some herbs, but I think it's time to reevaluate what we need to grow here. And I've been very impressed using the green stalk garden planter. If you want to get your own, you can use coupon code CAG to get $10 off. And now let's look at these grow lights from Barrina. And these lights were sent to me for review. However, this is an honest opinion of what I feel about the product. In the package, you have these reflectors. These are the light reflectors that go onto each LED light. You have a bunch of them here. And then we have the actual LED lights, the cables, the power cables, some accessories to connect the grow lights. And these are the serial connectors, so you can actually connect them daisy chain to each other. So you can connect them directly to each other without a separate power cord. And then these are some clips that you use to hang the grow lights. That's one option. And then you can also use these double-sided sticky tapes to hang the grow lights. We have the instruction manual. And here are some more reflectors that go on the top of the grow lights. And finally, a lot of zip ties. Now I'm glad that they included a lot of zip ties, because as you'll soon see, you will need zip ties not only to secure the grow lights, but also secure some of the cable. So we have our user manual here. We have our zip ties. We have the light reflectors. We have the pins that connect the grow lights. And these are the grow lights itself. These are LED grow lights. And there are 6 of this in one pack. These are the main cable connectors that you can use to power the grow lights. And these are some additional clips and accessories. And these are cables that let you daisy chain these grow lights to each other. So let's look at how to assemble these grow lights. So the first step is to attach the reflectors. And I'm going to show you how to do this. There is a certain angle at which you need to insert the reflector. You can see here there's a notch, and then just slide it all the way down. And that will help you set up the reflector on one side. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Luckily, there is a notch and it goes in only one way. And it does go a little bit farther, but you can adjust it so that it's around the center of the grow light. And as you can see here, we have attached both the reflectors for this one grow light. And then we'll do the same thing for all the other grow lights. Now the purpose of attaching the reflectors is that more light gets reflected from the grow light. And I think it's a great way to increase the efficiency of the grow lights. Now there are 2 ways you can attach these grow lights to wherever you're attaching them. One way is to use these clips. You can attach 2 of these clips to each grow light, or you can use these pins that have holes in them to use zip ties to attach the grow lights. And this is the preferred method that we will be using, because we are attaching the grow lights using zip ties that you see here. And these grow lights are so light in weight that you can easily use zip ties to attach them, like you see here. And you can use any kind of shelving to attach these grow lights, as you can see here. And I would recommend not attaching the zip ties too tight so you can move the grow light around. But you can see the grow lights, they look pretty good. And you need 2 grow lights per shelf or per tier. And you can see that we have attached the power connector here, and then we have daisy chained these 2 grow lights to each other. That way you do not need a power connector for each grow light. And this really saves you space. So you can see both these grow lights, they look pretty good. And let's turn them on. You can see that there's quite a lot of light here. There's not much I can capture from the camera, but I think this will give you a good idea on how much light these LEDs emit. And we've attached 2 more at the bottom. So with 6 grow lights, you can actually take care of 3 tiers, 3 growing tiers. So overall, I like the quality of the grow lights, and I will be using these to start seeds and even grow some tropical plants indoors in the future. And there we have it. I hope you liked this episode. Hit that like button if you liked this episode. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments box below. We'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.